We all stand at the crossroads of our lives, don't we? That silent space where the roar of the world fades for a moment, and a faint whisper rises from within. It's the voice of our true self, our unlived dreams, our deepest aspirations. Yet, in the relentless current of daily existence, we often mistake this sacred whisper for background noise, or worse, dismiss it as a childish fantasy. We tell ourselves, there will be time, later, when things settle, when I'm more secure, when I'm ready. But what if later never comes? And what if ready is just another word for regret? Let me tell you about Elara, not in a faraway land, but in a city much like yours, where skyscrapers clawed at the clouds and the hum of traffic lulled the nights. By all societal standards, Elara was successful. She had a respectable corporate job, a comfortable apartment overlooking the city, and a steady routine that promised security and a clear path forward. Her life was a meticulously planned blueprint, every brick laid with purpose. But within her, another blueprint yearned to unfold, a cosmic map drawn not with city grids, but with constellations and nebulae. From childhood, Elara had been captivated by the night sky. While others dreamed of earthly achievements, she dreamed of interstellar dust, of galaxies spinning in eternal dance, of light years and cosmic silence. Her bedroom ceiling once glowed with plastic stars. Her most treasured possession was a worn astronomy textbook, but as years slipped into adulthood, the practicalities of life, and her family's words, a stable career at Elara, that's what matters, dimmed her celestial ambition. She packed away her telescope, convincing herself that stargazing was only a hobby, a luxury for some distant future. Her heart, however, remained tethered to the infinite expanse above. A silent conflict raged within her. The truth is, the most insidious way we waste our time isn't through idleness, but by giving our limited hours, days, and years to a path that misaligns with our soul's true purpose. Elara wasn't lazy. She was simply lost in a life that wasn't entirely her own. The turning point came quietly, as profound shifts often do. One sweltering evening, a power outage plunged the city into complete darkness. The familiar urban glow disappeared. For the first time in decades, the Milky Way blazed across the sky, a breathtaking river of light. On her balcony, Elara tilted her head back. Tears blurred her vision. It was a visceral reminder of what she had abandoned, a reawakening of her deepest desire. These weren't just stars. This was belonging, a connection she had been missing for years. Then came a memory, her grandmother's words. "My dear, the greatest tragedy isn't failure, but never trying. Time is not a boundless ocean, it is a fleeting current. Don't let your ship sit idly in the harbor while the winds of destiny beckon." In that cosmic silence, Elara finally understood. Her greatest fear wasn't failing to capture a perfect image, but failing to truly live the life her soul longed for. Every moment she kept deferring wasn't just lost time, it was her very existence slipping away. From that night, Elara made a decision. Not a grand declaration, but a quiet, resolute commitment. She would reclaim her destiny, one star at a time. But the journey, like the vastness of space itself, was filled with challenges. Her first obstacle wasn't the stars. It was the voices of skepticism and her own self-doubt. When she mentioned to a colleague that she was saving up for astrophotography equipment, the response was a dismissive chuckle. "Astrophotography, Elara? Isn't that for eccentric retirees? You're a rising star in corporate finance, not some amateur astronomer." Even her family, though well-meaning, questioned her. "Are you sure this is a wise use of your time and resources? You have such a promising career." Those words, heavy with expectation, pierced her fragile resolve. Inside, her inner critic, the voice of imposter syndrome, echoed them relentlessly. "Who are you to chase such a dream? You're not a scientist. You're not an artist." But even against this inner storm, Elara refused to let go. She chose to move forward, and that choice soon led her into her next set of challenges. This period demanded an almost superhuman resilience, a stubborn refusal to let external noise drown out her inner compass. She learned to guard her dream fiercely, knowing that not everyone would share her vision, and that was perfectly fine. Evenings became her sanctuary. She devoured online tutorials, joined astronomy forums, and sketched out potential shots, slowly building a new foundation for her life. Her second challenge was the brutal, unforgiving reality of the craft itself. The technical hurdles, the financial strain, the sheer physical exhaustion. Astrophotography was nothing like point and shoot. It demanded precision, patience, and expensive equipment. The initial investment, a telescope, a specialized camera, a robust equatorial mount, and processing software, was daunting. Her savings dwindled, forcing her to cut back on every luxury. Nights were spent battling cold, humidity, mosquitoes, and the constant frustration of missed shots, blurry images, or malfunctioning gear. She had to learn to calibrate, to track, to stack, to process, a steep curve like learning a new language in the dark. There were countless nights she packed up her gear with nothing but unusable data, feeling utterly defeated. The cosmos, so inspiring from afar, was an uncompromising teacher up close. And yet, each failed attempt carried a hidden lesson. She began to see the value of meticulous planning and the overlooked beauty of the process itself, even more than the outcome. She discovered that time invested in genuine learning, even through failure, is never wasted. It builds character, it sharpens skill, it deepens appreciation. Our third challenge was subtler, the creeping shadow of burnout and the seductive allure of quitting. Months of sacrificing sleep, social life, and financial comfort had dulled the initial euphoria. Weeks, sometimes months, passed without a single satisfying image. The demands of her day job collided with her nocturnal passion, leaving her perpetually exhausted. The thought of returning to a simpler life, evenings free for Netflix, weekends for leisurely brunches, whispered like a siren's call. "What's the point, Elara?" her mind taunted. "This is just an expensive hobby. You're no closer to being an architect of starlight than you were before." But in those moments of weariness, she anchored herself in memory, the city's blackout night, her grandmother's words about regret. She reminded herself, pushing through the dip, enduring the struggle, that was where true growth lay. Quitting now wasn't abandoning a hobby. It was abandoning her authentic self. It was letting all the hours she had already invested turn to waste, not through failure, but through surrender to mediocrity. Then came the night she would never forget, late autumn. The air was crisp and clear. The moon hung as a silver sliver in the vast black sky. Elara traveled hours beyond the city, deep into a designated dark sky preserve. She set up her equipment with the calm confidence born of countless failures and small triumphs. Her target, the Andromeda Galaxy, M31, a celestial neighbor over 2 million light-years away. She aligned her telescope, adjusted her camera, began her long sequence of exposures. Hours passed in silence, broken only by the soft whirring of her mount. As dawn painted faint hues across the eastern sky, she packed up her gear, carrying that familiar mix of hope and trepidation. Back home, she downloaded the data. Her heart pounded with cautious optimism. One by one, she stacked the hundreds of frames. Slowly, layer by layer, the image emerged, and then, a gasp. There it was, the majestic spiral arms of Andromeda. Not a blurry smudge, but a breathtaking portrait. Star-forming regions, dust lanes glowing faintly. Even tiny satellite galaxies, rendered in stunning clarity and color. It wasn't just a photograph. It was a window into the universe, a tangible piece of her dream. In that quiet room, with only the hum of her computer, Elara felt a surge of peace and exhilaration. She wasn't just observing the stars anymore. She was connected to them. An architect indeed, not of cityscapes, but of capturing and sharing their ethereal beauty. The journey, the struggles, the endless nights, every moment had converged into this single, luminous triumph. The lesson she learned echoed across the vastness of time and space. True success is not measured by accolades or financial security. It is measured by the courage to align your life with your authentic self. The time she spent toiling, failing, persevering, none of it was wasted. It was the most profoundly lived time of her life. She discovered that the universe, in its boundless wisdom, rewards not only talent, but persistence, and an unwavering belief in one's inner compass. Time, she realized, is our most precious asset, far more valuable than gold. Its true worth isn't in how efficiently we check off tasks, but in how intentionally we spend it, in how deeply we engage with what makes our soul sing. Regret does not come from trying and failing. Regret comes from silence, from a life unlived, a dream perpetually deferred. Those who truly value time understand that every moment is an opportunity to move closer to who they are meant to be and to add their unique spark to the cosmic tapestry. Elara's story stands as a testament to this, that sometimes the most important journey is the one within, the one that leads you back to your own forgotten stars. So, I invite you to pause. Feel the pulse of your life. What are the silent whispers in your heart? The dreams you've tucked away for a later that may never come. What precious moments are you wasting by not daring to take that path, by not giving voice to your true yearning? Don't let the noise of the world or the fear of the unknown steal your destiny. Time is finite, irreversible. It is not merely passing, it is inviting you to live, truly live, with intention and with purpose. Take the first small step, research that passion, enroll in that class, have that difficult conversation, or simply allow yourself to dream without guilt. You don't need a grand telescope to find your stars. You only need the courage to look up, to listen to the inner whisper, and to begin. When you value your time by investing it in your true calling, time, in return, will weave a life of meaning and wonder for you. Don't just exist, embrace the journey, for the universe awaits your unique contribution.